Thank you. Well, thank you very much. And Governor, I'm going to ask you to start by introducing some very special guests among us.
Yeah, so we have our wonderful First Lady of Florida. My wife, Casey, is here. And we actually brought our daughter, Madison, in 3rd grade, Mason in 2nd grade. We do have our kindergartner here. She's with one of our with our babysitter, because I don't know if she could sit through this discussion without causing, but they are, full disclosure, very big Florida State fans, and so they're going to be at the football game with us tomorrow night.
Yes, thank you. Toward the end, I may ask the governor about intercollegiate athletics, but I will not ask him for a prediction on tomorrow night's game. So, Governor, I want to start. We sit here at the Hoover Institution, and as Josh mentioned, our founder, Herbert Hoover, who was, of course, President of the United States at one point, believed very much in the power of private enterprise, the power of individual liberty, and the power of limited government. And we are, as a country, about to celebrate our 250th anniversary for the revolution that led to the United States of America. We had some work to do before we would become the country that we are now. But I'd like you to reflect, as you did in your State of the State, on some of the bedrock principles that have made the United States what it is, how you think about it as a governor, because, of course, the Founding Fathers were devoted to federalism. As a matter of fact, the Reserve Powers Clause left to the states everything that was not reserved to the federal government. I've often said, Governor, that they put the federal government in a swamp between Maryland and Virginia, and then they moved back to the state houses where they thought things would really happen. But can you talk a little bit about the foundations of this nation and how you find inspiration from it as governor?
Sure. Well, it's interesting. So, like, we're really leaning into America 250 in Florida. So I've got counties named after founding fathers. So I'm airdropping, like, a Franklin statute into Franklin County. We just did, I got Jefferson there in Jefferson County. I've got a great George Washington statue in the state capitol. You know, some of these other states have mothballed their stuff. So I'm buying Alexander Hamilton at a discount and putting them in Hamilton County. So we're really leaning in it. But I think we're doing it because I think it's an important time to reflect. One, just what a monumental event in human history was. I mean, our founding fathers, they wrote, "We pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor." They were not just, when they signed the Declaration of Independence, popping off on social media like we would do today with, like, no consequence. No, when they signed that document, they knew the penalty for failure was death. These were people that were very successful in the colonies, but they believed that an important principle was at stake. Can we actually have a society in which our rights are endowed by our Creator, and then we loan power to the government to protect those pre-existing rights? Can we have the rule of law triumph over the rule of individual men? Can you have a society in which government's power is limited? Or are we forever, as human beings, destined to live under various forms of despotism? Because they had studied the history of every republic and the history of the world, and the only thing that really united all those experiences was that every one of them had failed. So they really believe it fell to us as Americans to determine these questions once and for all. Can you govern yourselves? And when Benjamin Franklin walked out of the Constitutional Convention the decade after they signed the Declaration, he was asked, "Did you give us a republic or a monarchy?" And his answer was instructive, because he said, "A republic if you can keep it." Because they understood you could have the best Constitution in the world, you could have the best Declaration of Independence in the world. These things don't run on autopilot. They require every generation of Americans to defend these principles, to apply those principles faithfully, to defend freedom, sometimes even putting on the cloth of your country and risking your life and even giving the last full measure of devotion for service to this country. So everything we're doing, when I do, that's kind of a backdrop of how I conceive of my role. Yes, if a hurricane comes, we have to deal with it. You know, if we want policy, you know, school choice, reduce taxes, whatever, we deal with it. But in the broad sweep, you know, we're showing, you know, yes, we can govern ourselves effectively in the state of Florida. And I think the fact that so many people have moved to Florida since I've been governor, so many businesses and adjusted income have moved in, you know, is a testament that people have voted with their feet and they've responded positively. Yes, these individual policies matter, But in the larger thing, I think we strive to be faithful to the ideals that the founders established.
Do you want to talk a little bit about some of those numbers in terms of those who have moved to Florida? A lot of my friends have.
So this is just true. So if you look in the last 6 years, we've had more adjusted gross income move into Florida than has ever moved into an American state over a similar period of time, adjusted for inflation even, in the entire history of the United States of America. And if you compare us, Texas is number 2. Texas is very successful. We're like 3 or 4 times Texas in terms of that. Now, some of that are individuals who've done well. Some of it's businesses moving in. These are things that are, I don't go recruit business. Like once COVID was going on and like we were open, hey, Governor, I want to come move my business. I just wanted you to know that. I'm like, okay, fine. But like, I'm not having to go do it. It's a natural thing because people know that they can be successful, but it's not by accident. So, you know, you talk about like fiscal responsibility. Florida's budget right now is less than the budget we had last year, and last year's budget was less than the budget we had the year before that. How many other states are actually doing that? But yet I can click off. We're doing record infrastructure investment, record environmental spending and Everglades restoration, record teacher salary increases from the state. We've done all those things, but in the context of, yes, eliminating half of the state's debt, 180 years, all the debt the state's racked up, we've eliminated half of it. We've reduced taxes by many billion. We don't have an income tax, and we never will. So you don't have to even file a tax reform and a tax return in Florida. We like it that way. So we've gotten all those right. And you know, the thing about it is, they say it's laboratories of democracy. We've got 50 states. It's a free country. Communications, mobility are unlike anything the founders would have ever dreamed of. People can vote with their feet very easily, and they have done that by voting in favor of the free state of Florida.